All right, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed your short break. We're now ready for Christina Alva. Christina and I used to work for a think tank called Mathematical Policy Research from 2013 through to 2015, and we've been friends since that time. She's also a board member at Coders Who Travel, but I'll leave the rest of her details for her to introduce herself. And in the same hour, we would have Priscilla Paulina Tetega, who is one of the members on the ground in Kukuom, Ahafo region in Ghana. So Priscilla, we are very fortunate to have you commute for about 10 hours just to ensure that technology footprints are established in that region. So without further ado, Christina, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Afia. I will go ahead and share my screen so you can see the slides. All right, can everyone see the slides?
Yes, I can.
Okay, thanks. All right, as Afia said, my name is Christina Alva. I am a board member of Coders Who Travel. I am also a career coach, an author, and a speaker. When I started out in corporate America, in my first 6 years, I had 5 promotions and 7 raises. And now I help professionals, new and seasoned professionals, land their dream job and advance their career. Today, I want to talk to you about 5 tips on how to rock your resume or your CV. It's so important because your resume is your first impression. For every position that is available and posted, there are about 250 applicants applying for that one position. Of those 250 applicants, only 6 of them will move on to the interview process. And from that, only one person is going to get that one position, that job offer. So you want to make sure that your resume or CV represents you well and catches the attention of the hiring manager or recruiter. The average hiring manager spends 6 seconds reviewing your resume. Just think about that for a second. I'm going to pause for 6 seconds so you can see how much time that actually is. So I'm going to pause right now. Stop. Okay, that was 6 seconds. Would your resume catch the attention of a hiring manager or recruiter in that amount of time?
I hope so.
All right, so let's go ahead and get into my top 5 tips. Make sure you're taking notes. And if you think your resume is great and ready to go after this presentation later on today, when you have a chance to look at your resume against my 5 tips and ask yourself, are you meeting all the 5 tips? Tip number 1, make sure that your resume matches the job post. Cannot tell you how many times I have seen resumes, as I am a hiring manager as well myself. I look at resumes and they don't match. The position they're applying for doesn't match what I'm seeing reflected in the resume and the job experience and history. So how do you do that? You want to make sure that your resume uses keywords and key phrases from the job post. Again, in that 6 seconds, when that hiring manager is reviewing your resume, they are looking for the qualifications and criteria they listed in the job rec to see if you have that experience. For example, if the job is looking for someone who's a project manager, some of the things they're looking for is an individual who can lead teams, who can set schedules, who is organized, who can manage their time, who can coordinate meetings, take notes, deliver presentations. So in your resume, when you talk about your job experience and you highlight your skills, you want to use keywords like PMP certification, maybe Excel, familiarity with Word. You want to make sure that you highlight if you've ever given a presentation. One of your key tasks in one of your experience sections should be delivered presentations, worked with teams successfully of 5 to 10 people on a project. Phrases like that that just make you stand out, because again, in 6 seconds in scanning your resume, I'm looking for, do you have the experience that I need you to have? Yes, you move to the pile of 6. No, you go to the trash. So you want to make sure, again, that you are using key phrases and keywords from the job post itself in and throughout your resume. A perfect place to do this would be at the top of your resume if you put a professional summary or an objective statement. That should quickly grab the recruiter's attention so they can see what you're applying for and what you're interested in, what your background is, which hits on some of that criteria from the job post. Let's look at an example. This is an example of a bad objective statement. So the first bullet I have here is for a photography position. So one objective statement, that's bad. Photographer seeking full-time position taking pictures of fashion. It's too generic. I'm sure other than the word photographer, nothing else is in that post for that position. Another bad one would be to get an opportunity to prove what I know. That tells me nothing. That just says you want a job. The next one, to secure a position with a large company as administrative assistant, a manager, or accounts. Sorry, it's blocking my accounts receivable clerk. Okay, you might be thinking, that's a good one, Christina. But the reason why it doesn't work is because you want to do too much. Which one are you interested in? Do you want to be an administrative assistant, a manager, or an accounts receivable clerk? Just don't put one resume out for 15 different positions. So here are some examples of good objective statements. The first one, experienced and talented digital photographer seeking a full-time position to use my creative and technical skills. Well, this is great. You're telling me your experience, you know exactly what the position is, you're seeking a full-time position, give me a little extra here. So that's a nice one. Using those keywords in your professional summary or your objective statement catches the attention. As a recruiter or hiring manager, I would continue to read on in your resume if I saw a nice professional summary or objective statement. If I saw one of the bad ones, I'd move your resume away. I wouldn't even make it down to all the other awesome stuff that you did because I'm already kind of, okay, on to the next. So here are 2 other examples. Energetic auditor with an MBA and 3 years experience in financial auditing, seeking to use my professional skills and expertise to grow in the internal auditor position at your company. This is great. You're giving me some energy here, your experience, you've got 3 years of that experience, you've got an MBA. I know a lot, I'm interested, I'm going to continue reading. And then again, the third one is another good one example. Motivated computer science graduate seeking entry-level Java programmer position with your company. You can list the company there. The whole point is to use those key phrases and keywords immediately and throughout your resume so that you capture the attention of that recruiter or hiring manager, so that you can move from the pile of 250 resumes to the pile of 6 who are going to get interviewed. Tip number 2, highlight your accomplishments. That is what your resume is all about. Presenting your skills and your experience, matching it to that job position, and highlighting your assets, your strengths, your accomplishments. Why should we hire you? I see a lot of resumes that tell me everything that is done on a job. I answered the telephone, I took notes, I attended meetings, I restocked the stock room. You know, you're telling me every little thing, but if that's not relevant to the job, if you're applying for a programmer position, I really don't care that you took notes and that you stocked the stock room. So you want to just highlight your major accomplishments and key tasks and responsibilities that you've done. You can brag on yourself. In a resume, this is your opportunity to brag on yourself and tell what you've done. You want to make sure that your accomplishments are measurable. For example, if you are like a Python programmer or you do data visualizations or some kind of programming, and you see a manual task that was taking 5-6 hours for someone to complete, maybe they're moving information from Excel tabs and creating a table or picture, image, a graph of some sort. And you found a way to do that using Python or another programming language. And you save the process 4 hours. So instead of 5 hours to complete that, it's taking an hour. You can add a bullet of experience that says automated procedures for creating graphs and tables, saving the company time and money. 4 hours time, if you know how much money it saved, you can put that too. That's great to see as a hiring manager. Okay, so you're thinking of ways to improve processes. That's what that tells me. So make sure when you list your accomplishments and you're listing your other work experience, that if there's anything that's measurable, quantifiable, you list that. You successfully delivered a presentation, right? Don't put, gave presentation to leadership. You want to say keywords like successfully delivered presentation to upper management or to leadership about overall findings from project accomplishments or whatever it is that you're doing. Using these words to really measure your achievements and list them out is an awesome way to catch your recruiter's attention. We're moving on to our next tip. Make sure your resume is well organized. This is key. Again, in 6 seconds, if I'm looking at a resume or your recruiter is looking at a resume, they have to be able to read it quickly, scan it quickly, see those keywords. Some people like to highlight keywords from the post. That's a great idea. It draws my attention straight to what I need to see. If I'm hiring for a programmer, I'm going straight to the skills section first. I'm looking for those relative certifications or languages that you need to do this job. Everything else I can teach, right? So when you're applying, make sure you're looking at your resume and thinking like a recruiter or a hiring manager would. You're seeing, okay, in 6 seconds, what captures my attention? What do I notice about this resume? You want to make sure that you have your distinguished sections in your resume. Usually at the top, you have your personal information, then you have your work experience, your education, your skills, your certifications, and sometimes you can put your education at the top or your skills at the top. That's okay. Just are the sections neatly organized? When you talk about your work experience, is it in chronological order? Are the borders formatted right? Is it all bullets? Are the paragraphs nice and neat? You want to make sure that your recruiter can read your resume easily. You want to make sure it flows. You want to make sure it looks good. Also, in different industries, people like to get fancy with their resumes. So if you're applying for a graphic designer, you might be trying to show off your skills and do something fancy with your resume. And that is fine. You can do that in that industry, but know your industry where you're applying to. For most positions, most professional positions, a standard resume, a standard CV format is fine, because when you get too fancy and have these bubbles on the side and fancy text and all of that, when you upload your resume and a hiring manager or recruiter sees it, they're seeing it through some system where they pull it from, and all the fancy text gets stripped. And we're just looking at a document in plain text. And so you lose all of that fanciness. The bottom line is just that you want to make sure you present that information and it's easy to read and it's easy to quickly see what skills you bring to the table. A hiring manager will never get to see how awesome and amazing you are if your resume doesn't capture their attention first. Again, resumes are the first impression. So moving on to my next tip. Tip number 4. Make sure you proofread your resume. Proofreading it is so important.
Christina, what is proofreading?
Proofreading your resume, it just means looking through your resume, reading through it for grammatical errors, making sure that it makes sense, making sure you have the right punctuation, the right tense, For example, if you list your job history and it's a job you no longer have, all of your experience should be past tense. Prepared meeting materials, delivered presentations to team weekly, right? It's all past tense. And if you're at a job that you're currently in, you make sure it's present tense. Deliver PowerPoint presentations weekly to the team. Answer phone calls and update customer accounts. You know, that's present tense if it's a job you have currently. And if it's one you used to have, you no longer have, all of your experience should be listed in past tense. So proofreading is just very crucial because, again, when you're weeding down about 250 applications down to 6 who are going to make it to the next stage, you have to have some criteria to help you get rid of the ones you don't want to look at and just get it down to the cream of the crop. You want to get it down to the best, to the superstars. And if there are grammatical errors all throughout your resume, that's an easy way to filter you to the trash can. About 75% of recruiters will throw your resume in the trash if they see a typo. Now, some of you may think that's kind of harsh. It's just one typo. But they're bringing you in to this company, hiring you, investing thousands of dollars. And they're trusting you to proofread your work. If you're writing an email and sending it to a client and it has a typo in it, so you want to make sure that your resume, again, is your best impression. You want to make sure that you review it. I can say review instead of proofread, but same point. If you do, make sure that your resume has no spelling errors, no grammatical errors. It just gets you one step closer to that interview process. It also shows that you take the time to check your work. And if I'm hiring you and paying you thousands of dollars to prepare deliverables that I'm giving to a client that's going to secure the future of my company, I like to think that you're going to check your work before you give it to me as your boss and before I send it out the door to the client. So if you really want this job, it's worth taking a second look at your resume and making sure you have no errors in it. I also recommend that you get someone else to take a look at your resume. Get a second pair of eyes, a fresh set of eyes, someone who is a friend, a family member, or even someone you don't know. You can hire a professional to take a look at your resume and see if it meets the criteria for the position or the industry that you're applying for. It's just great to have that second set of eyes, someone who isn't you, who doesn't know your experience, to read it to make sure it makes sense. For example, you can say something in your resume like, do PowerPoint, do Excel. But what does that mean? What exactly did you do? You used Excel to produce a weekly report and deliver a presentation to your team. Oh, okay, that makes sense. So you may not realize when you write your experience down that you're not writing it down accurately to reflect what you actually did. And having that second set of eyes is like having someone read your work and be like, oh, okay, I understand exactly what you did. I know exactly what your skill set is, right? They should be able to look at it and tell exactly what you do and what you're capable of. Moving on to my next tip. Know your resume. In this day and time, there are a lot of companies and a lot of people out there like myself who write resumes for other people. And you may hire someone to write a resume for you, and there's nothing wrong with that. And they might get a little fancy and write your resume using big words and terminology to make you sound, super awesome on paper. Nothing wrong with that. But you need to read that resume and know that resume inside and out before you submit it. Because if you get called for an interview and you make it to that group of 6 and you go into that interview, the job of the hiring manager and the recruiter is to make sure you're the one who's reflected in that resume. So they can pick apart that whole resume and ask you anything you wrote down, because you should be able to discuss it and defend it. So if you get someone to do your resume for you and it sounds awesome and you're happy, but you don't understand what half of the words on your resume mean, you're in trouble. So make sure you know your resume, make sure you understand what is on your resume. You have to defend it, you have to discuss it. You are responsible for everything that is on it. And there's nothing worse than walking into an interview and being asked about your resume and you're caught off guard like a deer in headlights. Make sure you review your resume, make sure you know it in and out. And this also applies to my professionals who haven't done the job search in a while, and maybe you're dusting off your resume and you haven't read it thoroughly and you just submit it, and then you get a call and a recruiter's asking you questions and you're like, oh, did I put that on my resume? So make sure you know what is on your resume so you can speak knowledgeably and intelligently about your skill set and what you do and what you know. So those are my 5 tips in review. The first tip, make sure your resume or your CV matches the job post using those keywords and those key phrases to highlight your experience and prove that you're a good fit for the position. Tip number 2, highlight your accomplishments, writing them down and making them measurable. Tip number 3, make sure your resume is well organized. We're talking format, readability, making sure you have different sections on there. Don't get too fancy with it. Tip number 4 was make sure you proofread your resume. That's just having someone review it, yourself included, and then maybe a second set of eyes to check for spelling errors, grammar errors, past tense, present tense is used correctly. And tip number 5, know your resume. There's so much I love to talk about when I'm telling you all about resumes. I wanted to include a couple of bonuses. So I have some bonus tips now. So now that you have your top 5 and you do your checklist against your resume and you make sure you're all set for those 5 tips, I'll go on to a bonus. I get asked a lot, Christina, do I need to submit a cover letter? My answer will always be yes. Submit a cover letter. If you are able to submit a cover letter, please submit one. Sometimes a job will tell you, do not submit a cover letter. We don't want your cover letter. Okay, if that's the case, you don't need it. But if you are able to submit it, as it is an option, please submit it. Why do I say this? Again, a recruiter, a hiring manager will only spend 6 seconds looking at your resume. Well, what is a cover letter? A cover letter consists of 3 sections. The first section, who you are, what your accolades are, what your awards, achievements, degrees are, and what you're applying for and why. Second paragraph is a deeper dive into your high-level experience that makes you a good fit for the job. And the third paragraph is just a thank you for your time and consideration. Here's my contact info, right? So for example, my name is Christina Alva. I am a recent graduate from San Antonio University, and I have a degree in applied industrial mathematics. I came across your position as a math professor in the Career Builder platform. I have taught for 5 years and tutored on the side, and I think I'm an excellent fit for the position. That's the first paragraph. Second paragraph, here are my years experience teaching. I taught algebra, 7th grade math. In tutoring, I also tutored business calculus in college, statistics, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Third paragraph, thank you so much for your time and consideration. Attached is my resume. Here's my contact information if you want to speak more. Boom, boom, boom. In 6 seconds, that's pretty quick to read, right? It's pretty quick in paragraph 1 to see, oh, you got a master's degree. You want to apply for the professor's mathematics position. Oh, you saw it on Career Builder. Oh, you have experience. I saw that right away. I'm interested. It catches my attention. I'm going to turn the page and look at the resume. This person is going into my maybe pile, or they're going directly into the 6 people I'm calling in for an interview. So it is a nice summary of your resume that can capture your recruiter's attention very quickly. Also, if you took the time to create a cover letter and submit it, and I didn't ask you to, that tells me you're the type of person to go above and beyond. When I'm hiring people, like most hiring managers, we want people who like to go above and beyond. Why? You make us look good. You're our superstars. That means when I'm paying you money and you're working for me, you're going to go above and beyond in the workplace. So that is why I recommend submitting a cover letter. Bonus tip number 2, don't lie, don't lie, don't lie. I cannot stress this enough. Please don't lie. On your resume, do not lie. If you haven't done the experience, you don't have that number of years experience, do not lie. And when you get into an interview and you get asked a question and you don't know the answer, do not lie. Please do not lie. Hiring managers, interviewers are trained to spot people who lie. It's so easy to spot someone who doesn't have the level of experience they say they have. And maybe you don't interview well. Maybe you're not lying and it comes off as you're lying, but trust me, we know the difference between who's nervous and who's lying. And let's say for some reason, you get past the interview process and you make it into the job, lying, right? You either lied about the number of years experience, you only have 2 years experience programming, and you put 4 years down. Or maybe you answered a question about AWS, Amazon Web Services, and you don't really know, but you Googled very well, or you have a friend who does Amazon Web Services and they trained you very well. So you got past the interview phase. I mean, you got past the interview phase, yes. And you get the job offer for some high dollar salary. And now you're at work and you're being asked a bunch of questions and you're being asked to perform at the level they hired you at, and you can't. You're performing horribly. It will always catch up to you. So please don't lie. You'll either get caught in the resume process, you'll get caught in the interview process, or you'll get the job and get caught on the job and be terminated. All of them affect your brand, your workplace brand negatively. Some of the companies will put your name on a list of do not hire, so you can never go back to that company. Companies talk to each other. You can just do a lot of damage to yourself and your career by lying. So please do not lie. All right, so those were my bonus tips. Make sure you have a cover and do not lie. So in wrapping this up, I'd like to give you ways that you can contact me if I said something and you think about it later and you have a question, or you think of another question you want to ask me later. Just feel free to contact me. Here's my email address. You can go to my website. I do have some tips for interviewing. Say you pass the resume phase and you're one of the 6 people who get called for an interview. Congratulations. Now you're like, oh, how do I prepare for an interview? I have my top common mistakes to avoid during the interview process. It's a free download. Just go to my website, ChristinaAlva.com, and you can download that. Also, please follow me on Facebook and Instagram. It's Christina N. Alva on Facebook and Instagram. I post tips there, different events that I do. So you can follow me and keep in touch and ask me questions through DMing me as well. All right, thank you. And I'll turn it back over to you, Afia.
Thank you, Christina. You brought memories to me about the process. And it's so true. Once you get a job, you lose touch with some of these things. So I think this is very helpful for the learners and the entrepreneurs, and as well as those of us who've had a job for a while. So thank you. Wanted to brag that I did get an internship where there were 7 participants with Progressive Corporation sometime of summer of 2012. And they were some sharp Asians, but I made it on top. And it's one of the highlights I like to share. So one of the things was the recruiter had worked with Marriott Hotel. And at the time, my resume had Marriott on it. And she told me she looked at my resume because she saw Marriott. And I was like, I'm having 2 degrees, none of that. So I guess my question for you is, as you know, as you build your resume, I know there's a balance to just showed your accomplishments and the relevant experiences. But I felt like with that job that had I removed the not so relevant, information that I worked at Marriott, because I worked at Marriott as a night audit or a guest services representative. And this internship was for, SaaS programming and a lot of pivot tables and in Excel and charts. So when she told me that, I was really surprised that that was what she said drew her to my resume. And so how do you balance that? Because since that time, I felt like you never know what will attract someone to your resume. So list as much as possible. But hearing your presentation today, I feel like, no, maybe you should stick to your accomplishments. But do you think there's a balance between that? Because that's how I did, how the recruiter looked at my stuff. And before getting the opportunity for the interview where they will talk about my programming skills in graduate school. But recruiters, like, we just never know how to please you, I guess is what I'm saying. And so, like, give us the scoop. What is the best one to do, best way about it?
I could do another presentation on that topic alone. But I would lean on the side of, when in doubt, just go ahead and list it out, right? If you're in doubt about, do I list it, do I not, just go ahead and put it.
Okay.
In your situation, you had not had a lot of work experience. You had your graduate school experience and you had that job that you felt was maybe not as relevant, and you listed it probably because you were trying to fill up the page, because otherwise you felt it would have been too empty without that. Having the work experience on there, if that is the only work experience that you have, I would highly recommend you list it, because as a recruiter, hiring manager, we want to see, have you ever had a job? Have you ever taken orders from someone? Have you ever had to meet a deadline and learn something on your own, right? So it's good to list a job that you've had, if it is the only job that you have had, even if it's not relevant. If you've had one job that's relevant and 3 jobs that aren't relevant, pick one of those jobs that weren't relevant and list it. The key thing, though, is in those positions that weren't relevant, did you do tasks that are relevant? Did you work with Excel? Did you have to prepare documents? Did you have to deliver materials to leadership? Did you have to train new staff? Things that show leadership potential, et cetera. Did you have to learn a new skill? Were you able to learn it quickly? Did you have to adapt to an environment, work with difficult people, all that kind of stuff? Those things become very beneficial to a resume, even if the job itself was not relevant. You have to find a way to highlight again those criteria from the job post in your resume using the experience you do have. I hope that helps.
Yeah, that helps. But yeah, I've always remembered that, because that internship was key to my Mathematica, and Mathematica was key to Deloitte. It's like everywhere prepares you for that. So it was my first crack in the ceiling to my corporate career. Thank you so much. If you can use emotional reactions, is the smiley face with a plus sign to show your enthusiasm, please go ahead. Yeah, thank you, Carla. Now it's time for Priscilla. Angie is having an LOL moment.
I saw.
CWT at Kukum, if you can hear me, is Priscilla ready? Okay, yeah, she is ready. So Priscilla is a student at Blue Crest University. Met her through Coders Who Travel focus group discussions and other networking online. And I'm really excited about the presentation she's about to share because I think it will be insightful. It's all about rocking your LinkedIn page. Now, remember earlier today, Rachel and Ella went through your business profile, setting it up, as well as some resume feedback.
I want the presentation, this is hiding the slideshow. You get it? Yeah, it's the slideshow. And this is actually hiding it. I want ways to hide it.
Okay, guys, I'm going to put you on mute for a while. So we are getting ready for her presentation. It looks like she needs help with the slideshow. But what I was trying to say is that this whole session, Christina's session and Priscilla's session, is complementary to the earlier program with Rachel and Emmanuel. And with that, I will unmute her and allow her.
Okay, hello everyone.
Hello.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
The Zoom is off. Hello, so I want to hear everyone response to my that's what I want.
Online team, those of us online, she has an in-room participants, about 40 of them. So she will be trying to do a hybrid presentation. So some of her comments will not necessarily be for us, just a heads up.
Okay, hello.
Hello.
This is So my name is Priscilla Pauline Atetega. So I'm a digital trainer at Bhutan, Ghana, and a third-year student at Blue Crest University College. And I'm pursuing software engineering, that's information technology. And today I'm presenting on Rock Your LinkedIn profile. So we're going to build our professional identity and get the most out of LinkedIn. So what we are covering is, first of all, what is LinkedIn, and build your LinkedIn profile, build your professional network, use your network on LinkedIn to connect to opportunity, and then extra resources. So build your professional network and connect to jobs. We are looking at the essence of building our professional network and connecting to jobs. So with LinkedIn, there are over 50 million employers that are on LinkedIn with millions of open job opportunities and more than 740 million professionals in over 200 countries on LinkedIn. And also there are 2.9 million groups on LinkedIn to grow your community. So these are the more important reasons or essential reasons why you should build your professional network and connect to job opportunities. So the question is, did you know 9 out of 10 employers use LinkedIn during the hiring process? So with LinkedIn, out of 10, 9 out of 10 employers, when they are looking for ideal candidates for their job vacancies, they go straight to LinkedIn to look for their ideal or their right fit candidates for their job positions that is needed. So I'm going to touch on key terms that we'll be using today. We look at workforce. So workforce is the people who are currently working or available for work in a specific region. The vision of LinkedIn is to create economic opportunity for every member of the global workforce. Then we'll also look at connections, because LinkedIn is more of connection. So what is exactly connection? When we talk about connection or connections, what exactly is connection? So connection is contacts on LinkedIn. You can add connections by sending invitations to other people on the platform, or by accepting invitation from other people. So connection is just like more like trying to let's say example on Facebook, when you want to connect with a friend, you have to send a friend request. On LinkedIn, you have to send an invitation to connect to that person. That person that you have sent a connection to will then have to accept it. So another term we'll be looking at is network. And today we have learned about networking. We had a session on networking. We even break into groups on networking and practical session over here at Kukum. So network is a connected community of people. So networking is an activity to strengthen relationships with others and can lead to professional opportunities, including job offers. And we have learned today that networking is very important and it shouldn't be downplayed. And so that means that it's very, very, very important. Now we look at referral. Referral on LinkedIn is when a job seeker is recommended for a career opportunity by someone in his or her network. So these are the key terms that we'll be using today as we go through or dive through the Rock Your LinkedIn profile. So you follow me, then we all go together. All right. So now build your LinkedIn profile. What do we look at? We look at setting up your account. And then we'll be looking at profile versus resume. We have learned so much about resume writing. So we're going to look at LinkedIn profile versus resume. Then we'll take a great photo and then edit your profile. So we're going to see how we go about all of the following.
Priscilla.
Now, so
Priscilla.
Hello, Aditya.
Please tell the learners in Kukum that they should get free shots from our photographers if they don't have a photo shot, like a headshot. Wanted to quickly plug that in.
I should
If
take
anyone
a screenshot of.
No. If anyone needs a photograph of their headshot, they should go to Yaya in the room for a headshot after the program. Just so they can continue with your LinkedIn photo.
Sure, they are actually doing that. Yaya and Wright are all doing that. They are even helping out. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Sorry for the interruption.
No problem, Ifya. Okay, so set up your account. So if you are new, you don't have a LinkedIn account, this is a great opportunity. You can visit Google Chrome, any browser that you are comfortable using on your desktop, and then just type linkedin.com. If you have your smartphone, just go to Google Play Store. That's Android for Android app mobile users, and then Apple Store for iPhone users. So when you download it, okay, so when you download it, it gives you an interface. LinkedIn is so friendly, like it guides you, it takes you step by step on setting up your account. So first of all, we're going to look at LinkedIn profile versus resume. So there are big differences between your LinkedIn profile and your resume. For example, your LinkedIn profile, it speaks to all potential employers, not just a single one. Unlike a resume actually speaks to just one potential employer. So with LinkedIn profile, about over 50 million plus employers on LinkedIn, your LinkedIn profile is speaking to this collected employers. That's over 50 million plus. Unlike resumes, before a potential employer gets in touch with your resume, means you have to apply for a job before that potential employer gets access to your resume. Then we look at LinkedIn profile goes into more details with skills, projects, interests, certifications, and more. So it's a kind of profile that lists out your skills, your project works that you have done into details, and then your interest into details. On resumes, you don't get that chance to, because as a professional resume, you are actually focusing on a one-page resume. So you limit the details, but you bring out the relevant point for the recruiter or the employer. Another one is that LinkedIn profile allows other professionals and employers to interact, learn, and contact you. So with LinkedIn profile, it's set a conversation, a tone for conversation, to call for interview, because the employers immediately got to know. It gives them the chance to contact you. Also, LinkedIn profile contains recommendations and endorsement. Unlike resume doesn't contain recommendations and endorsements. So setting up your profile, first of all, the most important thing is you have to take a great photo, a beautiful one. So with members with profile photos receive up to 21 times more views and 9 times more connection requests. So you can imagine having a great photo displayed on your profile. It makes you more very attractive. Let me put it that way. You get more requests and invitations. So how do you go about having a great photo? You use a background that isn't distracting, and then also dress for the job you want. You know, LinkedIn is a professional platform. Unlike Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you can use any other photos for such platforms. Now with LinkedIn, it's a professional platform where you want your recruiter to look into, to give you the chance to invite you for an interview. So of course, dress for the job you want, and then take a great photo. And then also have it in mind to smile and have a friendly expression. Make sure your face takes up to a majority of the frame. Okay, so what I'm doing right now is like I'm taking every feature by feature of LinkedIn. Like we've downloaded the app. So what do you do next? You take a great photo to set up your profile. Now we are looking at how to edit our profile. So editing your profile, your story in your own words is very important. So you look at click me, the click icon. You can see where my mouse is moving, the click icon. And then click on the me icon, which is this very one. And then at the top of your LinkedIn homepage. So on the right side of the page, click add new profile session to begin editing and adding to your profile. And then so these are the things that you're going to add to your profile: your location and industry, work and internship experience, volunteer experience, education and certifications, skills, program or organization. So the program, if student, indicates that I'm a student, the course you're actually offering, working, and the name of your organization. Okay, so you can choose whether true. We'll get to that session also. So we are looking at your headline, and if you can see clearly, these are examples of headline. This is someone's headline. My mouse is moving up there. Design thinking meets social impacts. Okay, and then someone, head of client strategy and business development at Beyond. So these are examples of headline. So your headline is an opportunity to show what you are, not just what you do. When writing your headline, ask yourself, one, if this is the only thing someone sees, What does it say about me? Does this represent my professional brand and show why I am unique? Of course, there are millions of people on LinkedIn that are actually, yeah. So how do you stand out? How unique are you? How unique are you that you also stand out as a candidate for that recruiter or that employer to actually single you out and say, oh, this very profile really stands out. So your summary, your headline should represent your professional brand and show the recruiters or employers on LinkedIn that you are unique and you stand out. And then the question too is that, does it capture what a recruiter would care about? So it means that your LinkedIn, your headline should capture what the recruiter really cares about. Okay, so we look at the summary session. So the summary session is the best place for you to communicate your professional brand and put your own spin on your experience. So you talk more about your experience. And then here are easy formula we recommend. We have 1 to 3 sentences about who you are. So this is a guide, and 3 to 5 sentences about your experience, top skills, and key passions. We also look at 1 to 3 sentences about your future and how other members can engage with you. That is so much about building our professional networking. So here the session, I'm going to talk more about how you can build a professional network on LinkedIn. So these are the things you'll be covering: build your professional network, discover existing connections, and then search for new connection, and add premium to you to get the most out of LinkedIn. So did you know that 50% plus of highs result from a personal connection? That's more of network. So let's look at how that results. So on LinkedIn, we have connections that we call them first degree. This first degree are your first connections. Immediately, LinkedIn is a platform that has reading algorithms that immediately when you register on LinkedIn, it immediately suggests to you, do you know, let's say, do you know AC, do you know, so it suggests to you, these are your first degree connection. So this first degree connection, the moment you connect with them, you send them invitation, they respond. Then when they respond, you become a connection. The next thing you realize is the system suggests to you your first degree's connection. Then when you connect with them, these people become your second degree connection. And this is how networking works. And through this connection, you get to see a lot of opportunities through this first degree, second degree networks. Then we have third degree connection or network. So this is how the whole network works. From your first degree, you get your second degree, then you get your third degree. So the network cuts across, and then with this kind of connection, you have the chance to even interact globally and make friends globally, and also get international opportunities. And you can also get jobs internationally. So these are the essence of networking. So how do you connect, or how do you, let's say you have connected with your first degree. Let's say their first degree, they know you, you also know them. So how about the second degree? How do you connect with them? You can, LinkedIn has a feature that you can just easily connect, or what you do is that you can send a customized connection request to explain why you are interested in adding a second or third degree connection to your network. whether it is to learn about their career journey through an informational interview or to request a referral for a job you are interested in. So most LinkedIn members offer or always respond to a request for a referral, and more than 60% of the workforce has referred someone to work at their company. While it can feel uncomfortable or nerve-wracking to connect with someone new for this purpose, it's really a professional norm that just might lead to a great success, all right, to your next career, to your next opportunity. So it's very important to connect on LinkedIn. So how do you discover your existing connections? So if you can, let me see if I can zoom. When you look at over here, when you click on LinkedIn, you look at the tabs over here, you see my network over here. When you click on my network, you see connections here. So you can get to connect. You click on the connect buttons and it sends invitation to whoever you are sending their connection request or invitation to, and then they respond. So this is how you get to connect. All right, so this connections includes your friends and family, current and former colleagues, current and former managers. So they are just people you probably know, or people in your third degree connection. All right, so people you may know, which is the network, one of the network features on LinkedIn, it improves over time as you build your network. So as you build your network, LinkedIn suggests to you that you have a mutual connection. So would you mind to connect? So you decide whether you want to connect to such person. But mind you, when you're building your connection, you're building it for it's a professional networking, not like Facebook or Instagram where you want to make friends, just friends. So building or connecting should be with a professional purpose. Okay, so search for new connections. You don't just you don't just be with the existing connections. Try searching for new connections. So use the search bar, and this is the search bar, right? So use the search bar in the top navigation to find new connection by name, company, location, and keywords. Okay, so example is here. You can let me see. Let me try and zoom it out. All right, so example here, if you're looking for people, you click in here, then the second, that's the second step for the second degree connections. The location where you want to connect, the current companies you're actually looking for to connect, and you're good to go. Okay. So it's also searching for new connection. It's the same procedure as just like connecting with your first connection. So next, you can send your invitation immediately or personalize your invitation request by selecting the add note. And you can see here's a invitation. So it's more if I'll immediately respond to that. But if I don't know you send me a connection, I have to maybe go back to your profile and look your profile and see what maybe your interest and blah 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 before I respond to your connection. Okay. So add LinkedIn Premium to get the most out of LinkedIn. So I'm going to take you through some of the packages of premium. When you get premium or you become a premium member, the packages that you're going to benefit from as a premium member compared to a normal user of LinkedIn. So we will be looking at some of the premium learning, premium career, premium business, sales navigator, and recruiter. So this is on your desktop. This is how the package, the various package will appear on your desktop. So they have the career. You get hired as a and get ahead. I'm going to take as one by one each of the premium, and then we look at them. So you can, if you want to try it and see how it goes, they have LinkedIn is so generous. You can sign up and use it for 1 month, a trial. That's, you have a 1 month trial that you can start, and then when you are interested, you then go on to purchase the package you want. So let's look at the various package. We have the premium learning. So the premium learning, it gives you up-to-date course content. So if you're a student, you want to learn, not only for students, you want to advance your career, you want to advance your digital skills, so any skills at all in your industry, your preferred industry. LinkedIn has this package that gives you up-to-date content that makes you stay ahead of the curve with dozens of courses ahead each week. And then we have, LinkedIn has about 16,000 expert lead, 16,000 expert lead led video courses. Again, so it makes you, with this, you can benefit so much with this expert led video courses. With this, you get full access to an extensive and curated content library. Unlike a normal LinkedIn user, you don't get such benefits. So you can look at how becoming a premium member of LinkedIn, how you can benefit from it. You also have access to full library of courses that you can choose from. You know, this day, technology is advancing quickly, so you have no option to build your skills or have a versatile skills. So when you become a premium learner, you have a full library of courses that you can choose from and build upon your skills. Then we look at another package, which is premium career. So with premium career, you have about 5 email credits. So you can be able to send messages directly to anyone on LinkedIn. Unlike someone who is not using premium account, you can't send a direct message to anyone on LinkedIn.
Priscilla.
You are actually limited. So you can also,
Priscilla.
hello.
Yeah, if your screen is displaying right now, we see 2 slides at the same time. The slide you are presenting and the upcoming slide. So because of that, we are not seeing some of the print is very small. So if you can just present to show just 1 slide at a time, that would be great.
Okay, I'm coming. Yes. Is that okay?
It's still there. Oh, it's okay now. It's okay now. Sorry. It's okay now.
It's okay now.
Yes. Thank you.
Great. You are welcome. So on premium career, so you have you can see who's viewed your profile. So you have the chance to see the people that viewed your profile for the last 90 days. And also job insights. When you have a premium career, or you get the chance to purchase the premium package or career, LinkedIn gets you insights on jobs. all right, to see how you compare to other job applicants, or how you stand out from the other candidates. Okay, you can also try it for free. All right, so it's also provide you with interview preparation. All right, you get more of interview mock-ups, gives you tips on how to perform or do well with interview. Okay, so we look at premium business, and this is more for people with businesses. So we learned about LinkedIn for business. So you can go in for premium business, and with premium business, you get access to 15 email credits. So this, just like the premium premium career, you have the chance to send about 10. With business, you have the chance to send about 15 direct message to anyone on LinkedIn. You also have the chance to view anyone who viewed your profile, and then unlimited people browsing. All right, so view unlimited profile from search results up to the 3rd degree. And then it also gives you company insights. So it helps you to see company insights, how you can go about new trends that is going on. You get, you become aware of them. Okay, each of these packages comes with their prices. We also have the sales navigation, which is also a package. This one goes with 20 email credits. And then you can also get to see who's viewed your profile. You have standalone sales platform. And then you also have advanced search filters. Okay, so we also have another package, that is the Recruiter Lite. So the Recruiter Lite, you have 30 email credits to send message to anyone on LinkedIn who's viewed your profile, advanced search filters, and automatic candidate tracking. So people who come to apply for your job, you are able to track them. All right. So, and these are all packages. You can try them for free to see how it works for you, or to see how it suits you. All right, so our next one is use your network on LinkedIn to connect to opportunity. So message connections, ask for informational interviews, and then request referral, request recommendations, and add value and engage. So we're going to see how we're going to do that. So message connection, we have from beginning of this session, we have seen how we can also send message to our connections. Either we customize our invitation. These are all forms of sending message to our connection. So send messages to your connection directly from the LinkedIn messaging page, your connection page, or their profile page. So if you don't know the person you are messaging in real life, clearly explain why you are reaching out. So that's when customizing your message is very important. Okay, so ask for informational interviews. So you are going for, maybe you've applied for a job, they've called you for an interview. Be proactive. LinkedIn is one great platform to make you prepare for the future interview. So you can ask your connection to ask you some great interview questions, or how to go about interview. And it's really helpful. And these are examples of asking a connection on interview, informational interviews. All right. So after an interview, so there are a few things you can look at. The purpose of an informational interview is for you to first gain advice on your career path, to learn about an industry you are interested in, then also learn about a specific company you would like to work for, and then establish a professional bond. So as a hint, after an informational interview, Professionals may also consider you for future job openings they learn of. So you see, when you connect with connections on LinkedIn, you're able to connect and you even ask for informational interviews. It makes your connections become aware of you, and then they even get to learn more about you. And then when they hear about any job or openings or any other opportunities somewhere, I am certain that you're the first to be connected, or you are the first to be notified. So these are very good ways to connect to opportunities. All right. So requesting for referrals. LinkedIn is a very great platform to request for referrals. So you ask for a job referral by reaching out to your connections. So
Priscilla, we lost you. If you can hear me. Uh-oh. So far, the rural network has held up. We had a bit of patches here and there, but hoping she can come back and complete. What an excellent presentation so far. I've been learning a lot. So please use reactions to give some love to Priscilla. This is being recorded and she'll get to see it later. So I will start. Yes, there's love and blushing smile. Yeah, I'm gonna call her right now and see how the network is holding up. But the internet connection interrupted Priscilla's presentation, and I think she is back to continue. So Priscilla, the floor is yours. And by the way, you received a lot of emotional reactions, positive ones for your presentation so far. So great job. Priscilla, if you can come off mute because we can't hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, so we get to continue. Kukum has given us a top challenge on internet connectivity here. Okay, so we continue. We were on requesting for referrals, and I'm sure we're done on requesting for referrals. So moving on to request recommendation. So requesting a recommendation of LinkedIn is also one of the great resources of LinkedIn that can easily make you get job opportunity, job offer, and take you to the next level of your job search journey. So how do you go about requesting recommendation? So on a connections profile, click more, and usually you see the 3 dots. You can see there's dots. You see it somewhere close, right on your profile session. You see the 3 dots, and then when you click on that, go to request a recommendation. Then you can select your relationship to this person, indicate whether you worked with them in a particular role. That's if you have ever worked with them before, or you can customize your message. So recommendation is actually you send recommendation to people you have worked for. It means you know these people. Recommendations with LinkedIn, I haven't had any real any experience on requesting recommendations, but for what I know, before someone recommends you for a job, okay, he or she is certain that yes, you qualify for such position, so he gives out the recommendation. So how do you go about it? Who do you ask for recommendation? Current or former managers? So don't just ask for recommendation from anyone in your connection. So your current or your former managers, your current or former colleagues, even those that were not directly on your team, but who who you have worked closely with, and also people who have mentored or advised you professionally, including through non-profit training programs. So as I did mention earlier, recommendation is really successful when you send this to people that knows you know them, people you have worked with before, and or you are currently working with. All right, so that's about requesting recommendation on LinkedIn. Now, you want to take advantage of networking on LinkedIn. How do you do that? How do you successfully engage with your network? How you can do that is to add value and engage with your network. First of all, invest time in your connections and request informational interview, which we have gone through. So when you have the little time that you have, I don't know, most people, especially in Ghana here, sees LinkedIn to be one, let me just use that word because I've heard some people saying it's a platform that is boring, kind of like they are, maybe they probably haven't seen the essence of LinkedIn. LinkedIn, as I've mentioned earlier, is a professional platform. Unlike TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn recruiters will click on, and it will direct them to your profile. So you add value, all right? Then you like and share things that people in your network will care about and post. So professionally share things that would make people interested, that will cause people want to learn more, people want to know more about it. Okay, that's how you can add value and engage with your network. And groups that you can join, and then take advantage of such groups and communities. That's very essential in your career path. So take advantage of that, and then give testimonials and recommendations to others. Just as you are requesting for referrals, testimonials, recommendations from others, you also can give testimonials and recommendations to others. It's like you are giving back, you know, you give and you take, kind of. So as you get, you also give to communities as well, and it's very important. Now, the last session on your LinkedIn profile is extra resources. So I'm going to share extra resources, additional features and guidance to help you advance your career. Gain in-demand skills, number one. Gain in-demand skills with LinkedIn Learning, which we have gone through. Explore schools, and then explore alumni, join groups. Then we look at privacy settings. So gain in-demand skills with LinkedIn Learning. LinkedIn has this link, you can see it in here, opportunity.linkedin.com. If you have a note, you can write that down right now And then they have great resources in there that can help you learn anything you want to learn from accounting, programming, anything that is in there.
Looks like Priscilla is having internet challenges again. All right, Priscilla, I'm going to call Priscilla right now. It may be a good time to wrap her presentation up. And I guess this has been a good teaser to what's coming in store. I'll give Priscilla about 2 more minutes to join. And I think we would, in person, it's time for testimonials from learners, picture taking, group pictures with the banners, you know, and anything, you know, make sure you write a 1-pager, a half-pager blog about a Word document about your experience today. We can even ask some of the students to do that, and we can feature it on the blog that we have at Coders Who Travel. We can also share it on a platform called Medium that would even reach a wider audience. So allow me to call Priscilla real quick.
Hi, Efia, I'm back. Hello, everyone.
Hi, Priscilla. So let's make a deal. So far, excellent presentation. If it goes off again, we will just wrap up. It's been a long day, but we appreciate all your patience. But what we will do is that we can send the slides for people who are interested, or if the slide is proprietary, we recorded today's meeting and people can have access to all of the great content so far. So please go ahead and present for the last time.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
So we will look at, just as Efia had said, I'm going to share my email address with you, or anyone interested in the slides. Just send me an email and I'll share the slide with you. Thank you. So again, the next one is gain in-demand skills with LinkedIn Learning. The same goes on where you get such opportunity. Just type opportunity.linkedin.com to start developing your skills for free. Okay, so let me move because of the internet problem you're having. Also, so you explore schools. So find and view the latest news from schools you have attended or interested in attending by filtering for schools using the search bar. And then explore alumni. Explore the career path taken by school or program alumni by clicking alumni, and you can view where alumni live, where alumni work, what alumni do, and what alumni studied. Consider reaching out to anyone whose career interests you for an informational interview. All right. So you join groups which I've spoken about earlier, so I'm not going to spend much time here. We look at privacy settings, and it's very important when you are online, you take your security into consideration. So LinkedIn has that session for you, and it's for you. So you decide how people can interact with you, and you decide whether to accept certain invitations and other things. So take that import. How do you get there? You click the me icon at the top of the of your LinkedIn homepage. In the drop-down menu, select settings and privacy to begin managing your preferences. And then, for example, you can change the language you use on LinkedIn, you can change your password, you can control your notification preferences. And this is not the only thing you can control. There are other things you can do on your privacy settings. So thank you very much for this session.
Thank you, Priscilla Paulina Tetega. I thought you were amazing. You really were. In spite of the internet connectivity issues, people are already asking me for your slides. I've put your information also in the chat, her email with Coders Who Travel and her personal email, however you want to reach her. This was excellent. Thank you so much, Paulina, or Priscilla. She goes by both names.
Yeah.
Okay,
right. Thank you, Efian. Thank you all for joining.
Yes. So please, Priscilla, you guys should capture testimonial, okay, on the video and ask the student to write, one paragraph or something about the adventure today. And we can blast it on Medium and on the blogs, okay?
Okay, Fia, thank you. We'll do that.
Thank you. Thank you.